So we're wrapping up our phase, that first phase of dating. So what would you think? What would be the one word you would use to describe that phase? Hmm. Um, for me, I think I know my word would be self discovery. I think, or maybe perhaps self awareness. I think we were always aware of where we stood with each other, where we both um, we were self aware about where we were going, and we were aware of what we were and we're not going to compromise in that period. So that would be my word. What about you?
That's an interesting question. One word to wrap up. I would say then knowing.
Hmm.
Um, Wrapping up that stage of my life, you had to know different things. You had to know what you wanted to do, what you were planning on doing. Um, if I'm moving, if I'm going to get to be married, I got to know that. I have to just know some things. So, I would say knowing, and knowing many different things, but knowing, and I knew number one at that point in my life, I knew why I was going to college. I knew what I wanted to do. Um, um, Even as I think about preparing for to buy a ring, I knew that um, I was going to at least ask for marriage, provided she said yes. I didn't really have any. I didn't have any inkling that she would say no, but because I was saying that I chickened out, um, and I don't know why I was chickened out because I remember that particular night, and I can see still right now, see as clear as day, their faces looking back at me like, when are you going to do this? Because I think we were getting close to the end of the night. Um,
Yeah, because everybody was kind of standing around the floor, and I remember that.
and I don't remember what happened. I don't remember what happened or what made me not um, do it that particular night because everybody's prepared. When I tell you everybody that I knew um, um, was expecting that to happen on that particular night. But however, it did not happen, and she had no knowledge of it, so it didn't hurt anybody. I just knew. Um,
It still happened the same night, though.
it did still happen the same night. So
It's just private instead of more public.
it was a private setting.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you. Um, where I did ask her that same evening, actually,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just her and I, um, and I made that proposal. So, um, and then that started a whole new journey of
Whole new
preparing
journey.
for that.
But before then, why? When did you know that you? When did you know? What was the moment that you knew that you loved me and like, okay, yeah, this is real. This is something different. Do you remember when that was? I think for me, I knew I said I love you first. I said I love you first. No surprise. But I remember the moment that I knew I had fallen in love with you when you, quite frankly, when I went to college and, I was saying, okay, he's just trying to be on his game to make sure. But it was just something about him calling me every day. Are you good? You need anything? How's it going? How's class? Like he was sincerely asking me questions about the transition, about me being away. I had never been away from home, even though it wasn't that far, but I'd never been away from home. I had never stayed away from my parents before. It was all new. And he just called me every day and we just talked on the phone. And it was just something was different. Our conversations were different, they were deeper, they were more in depth. And I knew then that, okay, there's something different. Even though for me, I was thinking, I don't know if he feels the same way, but that's when I knew.
I can't speak to I can't speak to a specific moment. Um, I think just the process of time.
Mm-hmm.
The process of time just, um, I guess, revealed. Um, it revealed it. Again, there's no
Mm-hmm.
moment in time that I can say we were sitting here and this and that. I can't say that. I can just say that the process of time um, seemed to solidify that or that she would be the person that I would be married to. So, because I actually, so when I think about it, when I think about even considering marriage, not one time did I didn't talk to anybody about this. I mean, when I said I didn't talk to anybody, there's not one friend I talked to. I didn't talk to my parents. I didn't talk to a brother. I didn't talk to a cousin. I didn't talk to anybody at all about any of these ideas and things I was thinking about. Um, that's why I said through the process of time, because I had no conversation with anybody. I don't even think, I know I didn't. As I think about it, I know I did not. Um, because I was trying to think when I was in college that I talked to, um, I didn't even talk to one of my college friends that are really close to, because I don't know, it just seemed to be for me something that I kept thinking about, you know, just different conversations, different things that we've done, places, you know, it sealed it for me. So again, I
And we
think,
were young.
and not until, again, like I said, not until I knew.
Mm-hmm.
Um, of course, I had thought about proposing, but I do remember particularly and I say this is probably about the first time that I really could say when I say I heard the Lord. I mean, it wasn't an audible voice or anything like that, but I just remember that it was a great unction to like go ahead and get this ring. Now it was added value to that because
He knew
they were
us.
going out of business
He likes to value.
and it was on sale. So don't
You know.
it wasn't the price that pushed me there, but um
It added to it was a
guess what?
benefit.
It was a benefit because they were going out of business, and I
I'm
said,
like, oh, this is a good
and
price.
I waited to that thing. I don't even know. I waited. I kept waiting. I kept waiting, hoping that the price would continue to drop. But eventually, I said, no, let me get this for before I lose it. Um, so no particular moment that I can point to. I think it's through the process of time, and it revealed it to me. And so I said, well,
What? So for you, it was more like, okay, this over time. For me, it was over time with us talking because once again, we were like, okay, so we went to school. I was 18, you were 20. So we were still young. You know, that's time when people like at school just what they consider living their best single life. And we were talking about real relationship stuff at 18 and 20. And which, we had no children involved because we didn't have any children, neither one of us. Um, it wasn't those things that sometimes propel people quickly to perhaps get married. I just feel like for us, it truly was just the journey. And one of the questions had and one of the things preparing for was what made you feel safe enough to commit, especially for a man, because commitment can be, women always think about it, getting married. Most women, I would say, in the wedding and all of that. My safety it was that you will always feel safe. I said previously how you made me feel, you always were just a gentleman, but then you were always a safe place. Like I could tell you something and you didn't make me feel as if my idea was crazy or what I was thinking was just kind of off the wall because I'm the dreamer. I'm the dreamer of the relationship. You're the realist. So I'm always dreaming big. So you always made me feel safe. I never had to feel like I wasn't safe in my physical body or my emotions. I never felt as if you were going to do something to intentionally hurt me. I never felt that then. And I, of course, I still don't, I've never felt that since I've been married. So we got engaged. And what happened next? We started planning a wedding. And we had a long engagement because I was in school. You proposed to me December the 8th, 1998. And we started planning a wedding. We kind of knew it was going to be a long engagement because we were both in college. You were a junior and I was a sophomore. And for us, we had a long distance relationship, what we would consider long distance because we were not there. He was in Myrtle Beach and I was in Orangeburg. So how do you think that shaped our marriage and that time frame?
Should be a marriage.
I always say we had to date with communication because we were not physically together most of the time.
Well, I guess I would say probably one of the things that I think I've expressed this over the years is that there's a debate on what is the most important part of marriage. Is it love? Is it this? Is it that? Is it commitment? There's a lot of discussion. There'll probably be a lot of discussion even after this, but I'm just so in that time. Um, I said this. The biggest thing I would say for me then might be shaping my marriage is the commitment piece, because when I proposed, that means I made a commitment um, to preparing for marriage. And so, even though there was a distance, the commitment didn't change because of the distance. Commitment was still had to be held up, um, because it was a commitment that I made, um, and so I'm big on commitment and being committed to something, and that's anything.
That's just who
Um,
you are.
I'm big on that. So I think that helped shape um, marriage for me because um, I think without it, um, it's easy. It's easy to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, so if I had to use an example, I think that would be for me. That's what did it. Even in that long distance, that 2 year time frame, um, I'm preparing for a wedding. I knew that those 2 years were going to come,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was committed to that. And so, I mean, there was nothing that was going to get in the way of that. Ain't no time that I allow anything to get in the way of that. At that time, like I said, we were young. I was just because that was in '98, so I graduated in May of '99, May or June of '99, and then I had to get a job and things of that nature. So I don't know. For me, that was that's what shaped it. I believe in commitment beyond, above a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's what I would point to.
So I think one of our biggest challenges was the distance. Um, there were for me, I think I probably received more lip being on campus, just to be honest, being on campus away, and no one had ever met you, no one at school. So I used to get raked over the coals because people thought I had fabricated this story about you, that you didn't exist. And during that time, I pledged a business fraternity, and during that period, I was the only girl, believe I was the only female on that line. And those guys were like, we became so close. They were like my big brothers. And they would be, man, that boy up there, you really believe he being committed? I mean, they were giving me the business. And I said, yes. I mean, you think that ring means something? He doing what he want. But that never changed. My cadence towards you, it was I know, mm-mm, I know him. That's just not who he is. There's just some people that, he's not gonna do right. It's just not in him, and he was never that guy. So I got that a lot. People just thought I fabricated this story about this man and he going to school, and they're like, yeah, you can tell us anything, we've never met him. But my closest friends, who my sweet mates, they knew the conversations that we had. They knew the planning that we had. It was stressful for me planning a wedding, being in college, being away from you, pledged to fraternity and pledged to sorority, um, and working all during that time. But I knew I was there. Whatever I had to do, there was never a time. Like you said, we knew the end result. At one point, though, you was getting aggravated and said we can just go to the courthouse and get married. I just want to get married. I remember him saying to me, we can just get married. Then he said, you can just get married. We can just marry. You can transfer schools and you can finish school here. Like, he just was ready for me to come. He was ready for me to come. We can just get married and give them some sandwiches in a paper bag. You remember that conversation?
I do probably remember seeing that.
He was over it. But we made it. We made it through the engagement. Um, we got married. And you said I was a different person the night of the rehearsal. You remember that?
Um,
It,
well,
it was the emotions.
there was a lot going on, and I just tell you, it was a lot going on. And so she broke a key off in the car,
I
I think,
did.
that particular day, and I was just like, Father, bless his name. Um,
I was stressed. We had a big wedding. We had a huge wedding
it
party.
was, I believe that. I just remember that I remember standing in the back of that building, and I don't remember exactly again the full details of everything, like what happened, but I just was like, hey, get away from here. Um, and my friend of mine, Dominique West, who was one of my best men, um, we just kind of rode off into the distance for a minute, but we made it through that. That was, like I said, that was an interesting experience, um,
It
to say the
was.
least.
Mm-hmm. Had a lot of unplanned things that we had to kind of change for. We had to compromise because there were some things that came up, and I remember you said, "Do you wanna? Okay, this is your option. You can get all them live flowers you want, or you can go here on a honeymoon." You remember that conversation?
No,
And
it just
listen, back
it
up
was
when we
just
got engaged. I remember him coming and he said to me that, I don't know, shortly after that, he was just always thinking, like, taking care of me. Need to get a bank account, start putting money in there for the wedding. And we went and opened our first account together. And I don't think it really got where it needed to be for the wedding per se, but he would say, I put some money in there so you have some money while you're at school. Or, if you need something, then you can just get it out of the account. And it was just the small things. The way you would send me surprises at college.
See, this wedding
I'm trying to get off of
reception.
that.
So we see the cake was a basket weave.
And it was expensive with 5 different
Don't ask me
flavors.
what that means. Okay, because I don't know. But it was a basket weave
Yes,
cake.
and I had to have it.
And anyway,
And I wanted all live flowers.
I'm like, okay, this is really interesting. So nevertheless, we had the basket weave cake. It did manifest itself that particular day. Now, so anyway, I don't even know if that's a such thing anymore, but that's what it was, or at least that's what it was called.
At that time.
But anyway, we made through that. It's interesting. Part of that story, though, is I'm not sure I really ever told it really. So now, of course, we're about to get married, and so usually after you get married, you go somewhere with a bride, and you go somewhere, right? Well, I hadn't booked anywhere to go. My brother came to me, was like, well, where are y'all going after the wedding? I was like, I don't know.
Hadn't even thought about it.
I don't know. I don't know. I just didn't. I don't even know. I don't even know. All I know is he said to me, and so he went and booked a hotel that particular night for me in Aiken, South Carolina. That's the reason we had that, because I don't even know where my mind was at all. But that's what happened. It happened. He booked it the night before. It was that Friday night. He booked it that Friday night. And so, anyway.
Yeah, because this is so John though. He wasn't thinking about that, but he thought about, well, I thought about a rental. I rented a truck when I came home because I thought about how we were going to get gifts back home and how were you going to bring the rest of your stuff back to Conway. And so he's always thinking about um, the particular dynamics of other people and how those things are going to work out. And how do you forget our wedding night to book someplace? Didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's something new I found out today, 25 years later. That's your brother, Selwyn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank God for Selwyn, because I don't know where we would have been.
Anyway, that's kind of what happened on that. So,
that's funny. So yeah, engagement, long distance, made it through. The wedding came. We sent out 450 invitations. If I had to do it all over again, I probably would have either just went away or I don't know, but they're very small. 450 invitations we sent, and I'm sure we prepared for that many people, and I think pretty much everybody came. So we had a huge wedding. My father-in-law was a pastor. Everybody knew him in Conway. My dad was the mayor. Everybody knew him in Conway. We were both from Conway. Everybody knew us from Blackville. Then he had a whole family here of church family and friends and from Conway. And then I had people from college. So it just seemed like that's what needed to happen at that time. The more mature me at 48 years old would not have had it that way. In hindsight. But we had a beautiful wedding, very emotional. He cried. I cried, of course, but he cried. Like ugly cried, y'all. Ugly. I'm going to show my children this video one time. It was an emotional moment. It was beautiful, though. And so here we are. We made it through that part. From engagement, from dating engagement, now we're married. Here I am. Okay, so what would okay, so we gotta sum that part up. What would that part be? That part for me would have been um tenacity. That would have been my word for our engagement season. What would yours be?
Engagement season. Um, the word, a word.
Let's say not a word. What would the engagement season teach you about love?
What will the engagement season teach you about love?
Mm-hmm.
The engagement season teaches you um, about love. Because I was going to say the engagement season should help you be resolved in what you're getting ready to
That's
do.
good.
I don't know, because I was going to say my
Mm-hmm.
word was going to be now. Because that was now, but then I would have add some words. But I would say it taught me that you got to be resolved for here's what you have now entered into. Here's where you're going. And so,
Mm-hmm.
um, not being married before, but you knew that was in the now, and you need to be ready to embrace whatever that entailed. So I guess in relationship to love, it would teach you that um, love is fluid,
Mm-hmm.
because love, number one, is not a love is not an emotion. It can't be, because if it is, emotions go up and down. But love, there should be a constant fluidity to it, because despite whatever may be going on, it should continue despite any other challenges or
Mm-hmm.
um, victories. It should remain. So, um, but again, I would sum up that is there was a resolve, or there was a that this is what's next, and so I've made this commitment. This is what's next, and so now let's see what this is going to be about. Let's just see what we're going to do, and so that would be how I think I would sum it up.